What do you need to be focusing on, and how do you make sure you keep the trash out of your head? All on today's show.
Your mind is a beautiful thing, but if left unattended, it can get ugly real quick. If you're not constantly curating the content your mind consumes on a daily basis, then your surroundings will dictate your daily thoughts, habits, behaviors, and actions. This show has only one goal: to leave your mind more beautiful than it was when you arrived. Welcome to the Beautiful Mind Show.
Welcome to our brand new show. I'm super excited about this show today. It's called the Beautiful Mind Show. And what we're going to be doing on the Beautiful Mind Show is talking about your mindset, talking about getting you up and operational, making sure that your mind is treating you right. I was talking to somebody earlier. They're like, get your mind on your money and your money on your mind. That could have been the show intro, but no, we want to help you get your mind right, get your money right, and make sure that your mission is right in life. And with me on today's show, all the way from the other side of the country, is Mr. Sean Stearns. What's up, Sean?
Hey, what's going on, Jason? Glad to be here today, man. Super excited.
Dude, I'm really excited to have you on and to be talking with you, because you and I don't get to do podcasts very often. So I'm super excited that you and I get to geek out on kind of the mindset part of your life and business. No matter what type of business, company, etc., that you are involved with, this show is going to be a great show for you, because we're going to talk about today, on today's show, the 7 areas that if you fix your focus on, you can drastically change your life. And I think that's no exaggeration. So we got 7 things we're gonna be talking about today. And then at the end, as a part of today's show, we started something back at the beginning of the year. We started something called the 7-Day Beautiful Minds Challenge. And if you're interested in some challenges about getting better in your life, do me a favor and comment below and just say 7-Day, and we'll send you the information. It's totally free for you to do the 7-Day challenge. We'll talk about that on today's podcast. And video show and all the shows, wherever the heck you're seeing this, whether on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or anywhere else that you see shows, or maybe you're just listening to us online. We're gonna show it to you. We're gonna let you hear it, and we're gonna give you some insight. So do me a favor, if you've had some things competing for your attention, would you do me a favor in the comment section, if you're watching with us right now live or even after the fact, just do me a favor and comment "I have." Because for crying out loud, Sean, we just went through, in America anyway, we just went through inauguration week, right? Like, we're at the end of inauguration week, and there's all kinds of stuff that has happened. So politics are competing for your attention. I'm sure maybe your family's competing for your attention, your business, your life, your cell phone, all those things are competing. And if you feel like you're being pulled in 1,000 directions, do me a favor and say "me" in the comments below if you feel like you're constantly getting pulled. So Sean, what have you noticed about that this last week?
Yeah, and I think when we're talking about the subject about different areas that pull your attention, and I think, there's tons of things. Like family, like you said, your phones, work, what you want to do with your health, where COVID happened. A lot of things happened with COVID. We just recently went through shutdowns, things like that. So I'm sure money is probably grabbing your attention. There's a lot of things grabbing people's attention, and just like working with salons and working with people in salon, and just honestly talking to people in general, I feel like there's been a lot of overwhelm, a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of people battling with depression, and I really think what it has a lot to do with is we're not really aware of all the things that are pulling our attention, and so it's just pulling us on all these different areas, and we just feel like it's almost too much to handle.
Yeah, Sean, I heard this term, I heard parts of this term and kind of just put it together as we were talking about this week, is there's kind of an unconscious depression that's happening in the country right now. Yeah. Right? Is this unconscious depression? If you guys know what I'm talking about, as soon as I say it, you might really connect with it. Say unconscious depression in the comments below. And by the way, if you hear something from the show that really gets your attention, throw some exclamation marks up in the chat, because I want to know if something's connected with you, and let me know what it was. But one of the things that happens, Sean, is that people are kind of in this spot where they're like, well, I've been told I just got to put on my happy face, right? I put on my happy face. I'm just going to go around. I'm going to do all my things. And you're like, how are you doing? And everybody's like, I'm totally fine. But on the inside, I'm freaking out right now. Right? Like, people have this moment that they're like trying to understand like why they're so stressed out and what's going on, and it's for a lot of reasons, right? And we're gonna talk about these 7 things that you get to focus on. And even then, it's like when you say focus on 7 things, it's probably stressful. What are the 7? Who are the things? If we were the news, here's how I would stress you out: the 7 things that if you don't focus on, you will die tomorrow morning, right? Like, that's what the news wants to get your attention with. And so if you realize that there are so many different things that are competing for your attention and pulling into your attention, we live in this world, like I said, this unconscious depression that's going on because we, by nature, as individuals, are social creatures. Like, there's a reason why we all don't live in a van down by the river. Like, even if you live in a van down by the river, you probably live in a commune in a van down by the river because people love people. They like being around. And so here we are globally in a country that is deprived of people being able to have that social interaction, that connectivity. And even on Skype, this is what really got me. On Skype, on Zoom, on all these different channels for you to connect and see people, is it like right now, you're looking at Sean and I in this little teeny itty bitty box, and you can like only get part of our connectivity. So you can't really see, like, maybe Sean and I are wearing shorts like newscasters are, right? Maybe we're wearing flip-flops, or maybe we're wearing, formal tuxedo pants. You don't know. You don't know what's going on over here. And so what's happening is what's going on is we are feeling connected. We're feeling like we actually have that genuine sense of connection with other people because we can see them, right? Because we're not on the phone. We at least can see people. And so we feel like there's some connection going on for our loved ones, for our grandma and our family members and all those other people. But at the end of the day, we're not getting all of the cues that we would typically get in a normal interaction, right? I don't get so here's the deal, Sean, like I don't walk into my house, or like I don't walk into I don't get to see you. And this is going to sound super weird and creepy. So sorry for getting creepy on you real fast. But if I was around you, if you were wearing cologne, I would notice, right? If you had body language a different way, I would notice. If I got to see you and give you a hug, because I hadn't seen you for a minute, or shake your hand, like there's all these cues that are missing. And you use the word depression, and so because these cues are missing, we go into this unconscious depression because our body is trying to fill in the gaps for what all those things we normally get to perceive are, and we're not getting them. And here's what your mind does. You want to know how your mind, excuse my language, F's you? When your mind tries to fill in the blanks, okay, it fills it in with negative blanks. Did you know that? Have you ever realized that, like, Sean, like, let's say I was going to meet up with you, and you were supposed to come over at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Well, I'm expecting you at 8 o'clock, and it's 8:30. What do I immediately think?
That is good job. I found something else, doing something more important, maybe went out with somebody else.
Right. It's like, I don't think Sean's probably picking me up donuts because he wants to hang out. He's a good buddy. He's probably just out getting some donuts. He's probably buying me a gift certificate to my favorite restaurant. He's probably doing something for me right now. I'm like, that so-and-so. I sound 100 years old when I say so-and-so, but that piece of crap, right? Like, he's out there, he's screwing around, he's wasting my time, and we go negative. If you have a tendency to go negative, comment negative or put some negative, like minus signs in the comment section. But we have a tendency to go negative, right? And that's what happens. So Sean, let's talk about some of these 7 things. I'm going to give some of these to you. I'm going to talk about these 7. Then I want you to kind of give me, how do you fix your focus on these things to change things? And what do you focus on in each of these areas? So guys, write these down. Somebody type them in the chat for me as we go, because I want to make sure you have them. So here are the 7. You ready? Number 1 is I want you to focus on your family, okay? One important focus. If you're not focused on your family right now, and I don't mean just the family in the house that you live with, I'm talking about your entire family from top to bottom. You also have another focus that's extremely important right now, which is your finance, right? Finances are a really big deal, super huge and important. Another one is your relationships. This could be any type of relationship, your primary love relationship, your work relationships, etc. Your health is another one. So you got family, you got finance, you got relationships, you got health, the career, right? You have your work or career. Then I know this is a focus. Some people this is a focus, some people it's not. You got politics or government. It's a focus. Like, what are the and look, dude, I'm not a government person, but holy crap, when your country is about to go upside down, all of a sudden politics become really important. When your politicians are saying your salon or your business or whatever it is has got to be closed, all of a sudden politics are important. Totally. And then the last one I'm going to throw on here, and I wanted to put this on last, is social media. Sean, you and I were talking about just before the show about social media here, is that, I've said this for a while, is that social media I consider to be a primary relationship in my life, good or bad, right? Is it take a look at how many hours you spend on your phone and on Facebook or on Instagram or on TikTok or whatever it is, and tell me that you're not dedicating as much time as a primary relationship to your social media. So those are the 7. Sean, you want to tackle one of these and talk about some of the focuses here? Which one do you want to pick, man? Where do you want to start?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think let's take finances, for example.
Let's do it.
All right, let's take finances, for example. I was actually just having a conversation with somebody the other day about this, and we were talking about goals, being a goal setter, right, versus a problem solver. And I think what at least in my experience, what I've seen with a lot of people going on, and this has been myself at times too in the past. A lot of times I feel like people don't really set financial goals, right? They just, if they're doing really well, they just see themselves as doing really well right now. Like, things are going good, I'm comfortable. And if you guys are relating to that, by the way, those of you that are listening right now, just give us a relate in the comment section below. Where, if things are good, then things are good. You're comfortable, things are going well, like you're making the money you want to make. But what happens, right, is what I've seen and what I've even done myself is we don't really set clear, concrete goals of like, what do we want our finances to be 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. But what happens is, say an adversity comes along, a challenge comes along, something like COVID comes along, and maybe now out of the blue, completely unexpectedly, you're out of work, right? And now you've just been slapped in the face with a huge problem that now you're probably panicking to solve, right? Yeah. Whereas if you would have created a plan of, potential growth, if you had that concrete goal and that concrete plan, you probably would have been in a much better place, even if you were out of work for a few weeks, right? And it's like a lot of times, instead of getting what we really want, and especially in life, but in our finances, right? Getting those concrete goals of what we're working towards and having that clear vision and constantly paying attention and thinking about it, right? I heard Earl Nightingale, Jason, one time said, we become what we think about, right? So I would say is like, look, how often are you thinking about your finances? How often are you thinking, or are you not thinking about them? And then next thing you know, something unexpected happens, and now you're panicking to try and recover to get your finances where they need to be.
Totally. I shared a quote this morning that said, and I don't know if you can see this up on the screen, I'll put it up here. But it says, one of the hard lessons, I've been sharing these hard lessons, it says, speak what you seek until you see what you say.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard that the other day and I was like, damn, if that's not the truth, to exactly your point, Sean, is you will speak into reality what you seek. So decide on what you want to speak. If you want to speak like, oh God, the world's turned into crap and there's just so many problems out there right now, well, you're literally speaking that into reality.
Totally.
Right. And I'm not talking about like doing affirmations every morning and saying, I'm rich and successful and I'm going to be the best person on planet Earth, but pay attention to what you say about these areas inside your finances. I was on a Clubhouse this morning. By the way, if anybody's on Clubhouse, give me a Clubhouse in the comment section. Or if you're in the club, do me a favor, type club down there. But I was on a Clubhouse this morning and somebody was talking about setting goals. And they said, I'm not a big financial goal setter. Money doesn't motivate me. And I said, well, look, be careful about what you speak into the universe. Because if you're going to say, I don't need the money's not a motivator for me, I don't care about money, that's not what I do it for, guess what God or the universe is going to do? The universe is going to say, oh, you don't like money? Then I won't give you any.
Totally.
Right? So be careful about those things. So guys, we're talking about, real quick, we're talking about the 7 things you need to fix your focus on in order to have a more beautiful mind. And real quick here, I'm going to do a quick shout out to something that we're doing, kind of take a impromptu commercial. I don't really have a commercial set up for it yet, but we're getting close. So I'm going to give a quick plug to something that we're doing and give you guys something for free. We actually have something called the 7-Day Beautiful Minds Challenge. For those of you guys that want to take this, it's totally free. All you have to do is go to the link that I'll provide you in the comments section. I think somebody had popped it in there already. But there's a 7-Day Beautiful Minds Challenge, and you'll kind of get the idea of what this is. And basically what happens is we're going to give you a 7-day, it's like a choose your own adventure style challenge. And I give you a couple videos to show you how do you set up for the challenge, how do you get started, how do you put a map together to make sure you succeed, how do you set a goal, and then you shoot 2 videos. You shoot a before video and after video. It shows you how to do it. And you'll get a PDF download from us that'll actually show you how do you set goals in the mental part of your life, the emotional part of your life, and the physical part of your life. And it's a challenge you do every day for 7 days, okay? So it's a 7-day challenge, 100% free. All you have to do is click the link below and get signed up for it. And it'll give you some really to help you fix your view on what's important for 7 days. Man, if you can do it for 7 days, it's not going to make a life change forever for you, but it'll sure give you a taste of what's possible. So do me a favor, comment with the word 7-day below, and we'll make sure that we give you that 7-day Beautiful Minds Challenge. We'll shoot you a message on the team. So Sean, we talked about finances. Can we move on? Can we talk about, can we go to relationships? Let's talk about relationship focus for a second.
Good one.
Yeah, go for it, man. You want to talk about relationships? Sorry.
Yeah, look, I think this is super important. Whether it's whether it's an intimate relationship you're in with a significant other, or whether it's just the relationships you have around you. And I think for us as a company, at the Academy, what we really realized is when, especially when COVID hit, right? When COVID hit and there was this big change, right? This huge change in everybody's lives. What we realized was that we immediately started building our relationships, got closer together, meeting more frequently on a daily basis. Right. And what we realized was as we strengthened those relationships, as we increased the frequency of our interaction, and not only meeting more often, right, but really, really paying attention of who we were spending our time with, what were the relationships in our life, right? And because
you had to pick, didn't you? You were like, who are the most important people in your life? Because those are the only people you're gonna see for the next year, right? Like, Who are the people that you trust that don't got the Rona, that you can go spend some time with? And you started to have to get really selective, yeah?
And I think guys, there's already enough kind of negativity going around, right? And there's already a lot of things in the world that are planting those seeds of negativity inside you, and you have the choice whether you want to water those seeds or not, right? Your brain doesn't care what you plant in it, right? I heard Earl say this too. He said, look, your mind doesn't care what you plant, whether you plant
anything planted.
Yeah, like whether you plant negativity or positivity, it will return to you what you plant, right? And so think about the relationships that you have in your life and say, is this relationship, beneficial me in ways? Does it bring me joy? Does it bring me positivity? Does it bring me encouragement? Does it bring me support? Or does it bring me anxiety, frustration, stress? And think about like what are the seeds that relationship's planting, and put more focus, when we're talking about focus, put more focus on the people and the relationships in your life that bring you the feelings that you want to feel more of.
Yeah, dude, so good. And by the way, we're talking about the 7 things you need to focus on in your life right now. Family, finances, relationships, health, work, and your career, politics, and social media. These are why these things are important. What are the 7 focuses that you need to pay attention to? And I think, again, I'm gonna jump through these here again, Sean. I'm gonna jump to health for a second.
Yeah.
Because again, in the same thing on focusing on your health. I had a realization this last week that I just want to say, and by the way, again, if you've ever worked on your health, would you do me a favor and comment health? By the way, quick shout out to Adina Doss, who's on right now, and also Michelle. Quick shout out to you guys for being on with us live. Good to see you guys as always. But I want to talk about health because I had an interesting epiphany about my own personal health journey. Because I was always like a skinny kid. I'm not necessarily a skinny kid right now, but I was always a skinny kid and didn't really have to worry about what I ate and what was going on. Then I got into my 20s and I was like, oh, shoot, I don't have that 17-year-old metabolism anymore, right? But here was the thing that I thought was interesting is that I never wanted to be like a quote meathead. Like I never wanted to kind of get myself to a place where I could like get my flex on and do all kinds of stuff. It just wasn't my jam. I wasn't after a 6-pack. But I realized that my health hadn't been important to me because somebody asked me this question. They said, can you do what you physically want to do in every area of your life right now? And I was like, yeah, I can. I can go snowboarding, I can go wakeboarding, I can do all these things. Like physically, I can achieve all the things that I want to achieve. Like I'm not trying to run an ultra marathon, and I can physically do the things that I want to do. But if somebody took away my physical ability to do those things, then my health would become more of a focus and become more important. And what I realized is that, again, in that focus is like, well, what directs your focus? Because I only have so much focus to give, right, Sean? I can only give so much. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll focus on this. I'm gonna focus more on my finances. I gotta take a little bit away from health because I can't focus on all of them equally at any given moment in time. And start creating that sort of opportunity. And again, even though I would say that I'm in decent health, I'm not in the best health I've ever been in my entire life. And I think it's one of those things that, for most people, you got to decide what are the things that you have to do in order to survive. And this is what somebody got me with. They said, Jason, let's talk about your flexibility. Because bro, if you want to be around for another 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of you doing things, if your flexibility is bad now, imagine what it's like when you're going to be 60 and you're not going to be able to move because your body is just constantly shutting down, locking up. And if we don't flex it now, you're not going to be around. I was like, oh, now all of a sudden my health became more important again. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Dude, do you want to talk about, what's the next one you want to talk about? How about family, social media, politics?
Let's do family. I can relate that one really well.
Let's do it. You got 45 kids, so this is
right. I'm working my way up there, right? Look, by the way, I got a fiance and 4 kids of my own, so so family is super, super important to me, and it's one of those things which I'm sure it's super important to a lot of you on this call right now, and it also can be a very, I would say, a very big time commitment and attention commitment, right? Like a lot of my attention, is fixated on my family, but I think what you have to find, at least in my experience, right, with family, because look, family's great, but family's not always super easy and low stress. It can bring stress and it can bring some hard times. But I think with you, I'll tell you, in my example with my family, what we haven't found is, again, there were peaks and valleys, but what was so important is I kept my attention fixated on when we were in the valleys, what can we do as a family to have more peaks, right? Okay, we went through a valley, right? We went through a valley.
Somebody write that down, by the way. Put that
somebody right there, right? Look, when the valleys come, that's the most important time to find the lesson, right? To have more peaks in that relationship. For us, it was like, look, better communication, more organization, making sure we're scheduling quality time out together. And again, for me, family's super important, and there's a lot of other things that my attention is on. So it really took those conversations of, all right, we're in a valley right now, rather than spending time arguing while they're in here, right? And arguing why we're in the valley. Let's sit down and have a conversation about what are the things we've learned in the experience we're going through right now that can take us out of this and allow us to have less and less and less valleys along the way, right? Again, we had to work on communication, organization, scheduling date nights, scheduling family days, and it was really taking, realizing what game I was playing, right? I was out of I'm out of the coaching game. I'm out of the hairstylist game right now. And right now I'm 100% in the family game. I'm present in the family game, saying, what do we need to do? What are my commitments that I've made here? And making dang sure that I fulfill those commitments, right? And I stay present in the game that I'm playing.
Totally. Dude, that's so good. And I like to call that the valley of insight, right?
Yeah.
Is when you're in that moment where something's not working the way you want, that's your opportunity to step back, take some insight, and decide how you want to course correct and move forward, use that feedback, right?
Totally.
I want to talk about social media for a second, because again, on these focuses, social media for me is an interesting beast. I said this for years. Social media in my life is one of my primary relationships. It's one of my, I hate to say it this way, but best friends, most intimate relationships, because it's an amplifier. And if some of you guys are like, holy crap, Jason, you crazy, okay? But here's one of the things that I think is really important, is that I treat social media as one of my most valuable relationships, not because I love social media, that's not it, but social media becomes an amplifier of my reach to the world. I'll say it again. Social media becomes an amplifier of my reach to the entire world, meaning that right now for me on social media, if I had to get together with the, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, or hundreds of you or thousands of you that are going to watch this as we go over time. And it depends on how many it is, by the way. But the idea is like, I can't get together with you guys in person and go around and drive to every single one of your houses, businesses, et cetera, and go have a conversation with 50, 60, 70, or 80 of you every single day. But I can spend the 20, 30 minutes of this podcast is going to be to sit and have this conversation that gets amplified out to go and see Ron and Judy down in Kansas City, go see Adina, and go see Jolene, go see all kinds of other people that are around, go see Michelle, to pay attention to see what's going on. And I use it as an amplifier because that one relationship, which I count as social media, becomes relationships to hundreds or thousands of people. Whether it's that you watch a little show today, you saw a post yesterday, you saw me on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, right? All of those things are just an amplifier of how you operate, but you get to focus on it and say, why am I here? What's the purpose? Because again, we'll transition to politics now. You ready to get to that topic, Sean? We'll transition to politics because I know people in my immediate life that I'm around very closely that their entire focus on social media is to be pissed off at whoever's in charge of whatever they're pissed about. And it doesn't matter which version of that. If you don't like Biden, you don't like Trump, you don't like whatever local official that's in your city that you're pissed about, right? All you want to do is complain about it. Is that all of a sudden, that's what you become focused and obsessed upon. And you literally start spewing poison and venom out there on social media. And what becomes is you become an amplifier of spitting poison out into the universe.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, you know, and when I think about this subject too, you know, like I've had this conversation several times with people. And look, one, you got to know who to have these conversations with, right? But you know, I think it's so important to really think about because look, I mean, media plays a huge role, right? Media, and we talked about planting seeds earlier. Yeah, social media and media in general plays a huge role in planting those seeds in a lot of people. And what I've seen is sometimes people are subconscious with how they feel about something, right? Whether it was they feel that way because that's what media said, or that's what their friends say, or that's what social media said. You know, so what I would say, and what the conversation was had before, is like, look, really sit down with yourself, no one else. Sit down with yourself, sit down with your thoughts, sit down with your feelings, and sit down with your moods about whatever it is you want to think about, right? Analyze your thoughts, your feelings, and your moods, and really think about your conscious decision, right? Your decision. How do you truly feel about something? How do you truly feel about this? Truly feel about that? What are your thoughts on it? And your pure thoughts, right? Not thoughts that have been brought on by other media streams or other friends in your inner circle. Really take some time. This is what I found out for myself too. It really is powerful giving yourself moments of solitude to really sit with your thoughts, sit with your feelings, and sit with your moods and see where they're really coming from, and start to listen to yourself more, right? Because I feel like a lot of us we can be persuaded and we can have these seeds planted, and sometimes we don't even consciously realize it's going on.
Completely, man. How many of you guys totally understand that like hearing your own voice versus hearing other people's voices sometimes can be a challenge, right? Yeah. Is that like sometimes other people's voices can be louder than yours, and I think that's where the focus is. If you're so focused on pleasing other people, so focused on what's going on right now, what are other people saying, what are other people doing, what are my friends paying attention to, is all of a sudden you fix your focus on the wrong things. And the solitude, to your point, I love that word, Sean, that solitude. Well, that's taking some time to meditate, go on a hike, go on a walk, get outside, get some sunshine, take a second of silence instead of just mouthing off all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Is that take a second to understand where you're at. And I think hopefully it's been helpful for you guys. I want to give you one more chance to get into our 7-day Beautiful Minds Challenge. Because if this has been valuable for you, trust me, then you need 7 days with yourself. Okay. So I'm going to put this up one more time so you guys can see it. If you guys want to get access to our 7-day Beautiful Minds Challenge, okay, all you have to do is go to the link that's in the comment below, or you can just comment 7-day and we'll send it to you. And this is for anybody, any industry, but ideally focused for the beauty industry, because we really want to help you guys really grow and change the industry. Is we'll give you 7 days worth of challenges. You select your own challenges, like a choose your own adventure. You get mental challenges, emotional challenge, physical challenge. And what happens is you pick the challenges that are going to be the toughest, not the ones that are going to be the easiest. But you're going to pick the ones that are going to be the hardest, and then you watch these videos and you set yourself up, and you maybe take a team of people through it, and you say, look, guys, I want to become somebody different in 7 days. I want to have a taste of what I could be like. Because Sean, dude, we've all had that day, right? Where like we know that we had an amazing day, and we're like, what if all my days could be like this?
Yeah.
I want to give you 7 days to have a taste of like, wow, my life could actually be different. I know I was talking to somebody the other day, they said like, you know, one of the challenges you could give up alcohol for 7 days. And for some people, you're like, oh my God, not alcohol. One of the challenges, you could take a cold shower every day for 7 days. One of the challenges is that you could go sugar-free for 7 days. One challenge, you go social media blackout for 7 days. So you pick 3 challenges and you go totally dark on all those things. And people come out of it and they're like, I didn't realize how much that insert whatever vice or grip or whatever it is, I didn't realize what type of grip that actually had on me in my life. I didn't realize how much sugar gripped me. I didn't realize how much social media gripped me. I didn't realize how much exercise I wasn't taking for my time in my life. And you take on one of those challenges and it will profoundly change what you think about yourself when you can pull yourself out of this idea that like my life has to be the way it is right now and there's nothing I can do about it.
Totally.
Yeah. So do me a favor, guys, comment 7-day if you want to access that 7-day challenge. This has been our very first ever Beautiful Minds podcast. If you liked it and you want us to do more podcasts, you sure as hell better comment or share or tag us and say this was good. Because if not, We won't do any more. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to be doing these for a while. We're going to do them every Friday. Sean and I are going to be doing these podcasts every single Friday, but we want to know what's helpful for you. And if you guys want other topics to talk about on our Beautiful Minds podcast, comment below and we'll talk about your topic next week. Do me a favor about what you want to learn about in this personal development journey, and we will bring on other guests and other great people that will help you grow, help you become better as an individual, so every other aspect of your life becomes better. Sean, anything you want to say as we wrap, man?
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you guys every Friday. And look, I'm going to leave you guys with this, okay? You guys are all amazing. Start planting the right seeds, okay? Start planting the seeds to the plants that you want to grow. So it was a pleasure being on with all you guys, and we'll see you guys next Friday.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe to any of the channels that you find us on, whether that's on Facebook, on our YouTube channel, on Spotify, on Pandora, wherever you can find it. Do me a favor, find the podcast, give it a rating, let us know what it is, and do me a favor and also share this with a friend or tag somebody that you know would be of benefit to listen to it, because there are lots of people who need to work on their mindset. This isn't a hint. This is just a beginning of a journey for them. As Sean said, it's a seed that is planted. Thank you guys so much for being on today. Enjoy next week's podcast. We'll see you guys again next Friday. Thank you guys so much.
Bye, guys.